Hello and welcome to this episode of Read, Play, Game, the podcast where we look at tabletop role-playing games from every side of the table. I'm Emma, and this week I will be acting as rules lawyer and playing while we do this collaborative storytelling game.
I'm Anish, and I'll be playing this week.
I'm Tori. I'll also be playing Epitaph this week.
I'm Marco, and I'll also be playing this week.
And last but not least, we have...
I'm Stuart, and I will also be playing this week. Yay!
Yay!
Woo!
Guest
We have
star
a guest.
Stuart. And you may have noticed for our mathematically inclined readers, players, and gamers, we are missing a host. Sometimes it's like we can still hear her voice. I thought maybe she would hop on for a second. Oh, there we go.
Nah.
She's in the chat. Jess is not joining today. That's why I've been promoted to rules lawyer. And I did, in fact, take the bar for this game. And I am, like, what's the word? Certified.
Yeah.
Stuart, you're a paralegal.
Yeah,
Right? What are
I
you?
am. I don't know anything about lawyers. What do they do?
Usually I say that I'm the paralegal for
Chat
a game
docs
when I help.
Stuart.
But this time I'm a full fucking lawyer.
Yeah.
This time I did it.
You passed the bar.
I passed the bar
Yeah.
for Epitaph, which, for people tuning in for the first time, this is the first of 3 parts that make up the structure of this podcast, the read portion. We won't just be reading, though. We'll be walking through the character creation process of an RPG that we've selected for this arc, talking through the rules as we go. Usually, this is followed by later episodes where we play through a brief game using those characters and then reflect on the system, and you can feel free to listen to whichever of those interest you and feel free to skip whichever ones don't. However, today, as Tori mentioned, we are going to be playing Epitaph by Marc Hobbs, which was published by Less Than 3 Games, which is not like, I see Tori, it may be a click for Tori. Yeah, it's a heart, Less Than 3 Games. And in this game, we'll be collaboratively creating the story of one person's life. So since character creation is the whole game, we'll have 2 combined read-play episodes where we'll be like looking at rules and creating the character, which is the whole game. And then we'll do our usual game discussion. So Epitaph is played in 2 parts. You create the Departed, and then you explore the Departed's timeline. So this is the Creating the Departed episode. I would suggest not skipping it, because it's going to contain a lot of important information. But before we get into that, do we want to just say who Stuart is for people?
Oh, no.
Stuart's our very dear friend.
Yay.
Good friend, best friend.
Yay.
Yes. In many ways, like a brother to me.
Yay.
And like a son.
This is true.
In many
And
ways,
like an uncle.
Stuart and
Listeners,
I are lovers.
should you need a visual, Stuart, you can imagine like the Chad versus Virgin meme. You literally like your posture, the way you walk. I feel like it's very like...
He is very
the Virgin
Chad-like.
Thank you.
Oh,
And I may be so bold as to say, if our viewers want an even more visual descriptor, they can just imagine all of the regular hosts of this podcast as the Virgin. And, that might help, by comparison, illustrate me.
Stuart's never, ever listened to an episode of Read, Play, Game before. So this is going to be really exciting.
Yay.
Epitaph. Let's talk about it. Like I said, created by Marc Hobbs at Less Than 3 Games, which Less Than 3 Games is a duo game creators. They're a married couple, Caroline and Mark. Epitaph, as I said, created by Mark. And they actually have 6 games published on their website, which is more than 3. So there's some false advertising there, but that's okay. And then I wanted to let Anish just talk about finding it, because you found it in the game store, right? I didn't make that up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm very drawn to games with cool covers, and in that way, I am extremely prejudiced.
Because you're judging the books.
a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Me when I identify the joke.
Yeah.
But I look for very specific vibes when I'm looking at games, and this one screamed to me. It was immediately comforting and nostalgic. The art very evocative, and the moment I cracked into it, after purchasing it from our local game store. Shout out.
Atomic
Actually,
Empire.
Yeah,
I was
You
going
have
to guess
I'm like,
Atomic
you gotta
Empire.
shout it if you're gonna shout it out.
I did not
Listeners
remember.
in North Carolina, run, don't walk to Atomic Empire. Doesn't matter
They
the
have
drive. Get
a
there.
lot of Magic the Gathering tournaments. So if you're a
A lot of
nerd,
tables.
yeah.
They have Pop-Tarts and things, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you know,
I could
actual
not
gamer
tell you.
food.
I only
Actual
go in
gamer
for
food.
the
I think it's like Hot
RPGs.
Pocket, like microwave only type food.
They
Please
know.
continue, Anish.
They know their audience. Yeah, cracking into it. The tone of the game reminds me, if anybody's an anime nerd, of the anime Frieren, which is all about kind of nostalgia, remembering loved ones in the past.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I can read just the little thing on the back. It's every life is a story worth telling. Epitaph is a role-playing game about a person who has died. Their life is a story that starts at the end, then jumps freely backward and forward to their most important moments. As you create their story, you'll discover who this person was and what made them special. So it is a game about death in some ways, but if you go to the section that Mark included on his design notes, which is pretty extensive and kind of beautiful, it's actually not about death. It's supposed to be about life. He originally designed a game and then realized that it was way too much about death. And so he like did a full clean sweep, kind of reworked it totally and ended up with Epitaph. It was originally called Unfinished Business, and it was about like limbo and feeling like you didn't get what you wanted out of life. And then he was like, scratch that, reverse it.
This group should not play that game.
That game doesn't exist.
I'm very glad.
That game
Very
is
glad.
not real. Since we're going to be talking a lot about death, since the death is in there, it's an integral part of the game. Book starts with player safety, and I wanted to talk about player safety separate from some of the other tools that we'll be using. Mark recommends using like the X card, which if you play a lot of games that include like player safety tools, the X card's very common use. If a topic or idea comes up that makes you uncomfortable, if you're playing in person, you like pick up the card that has X written on it, and then everybody just pivots. You don't have to explain it, but we pivot. Part of why I wanted to talk about the X card and like lines and veils at the top end is because later we'll talk about what we want to add to the story that we're telling. And part of that is you add stuff that you don't want to be in there, but it is different than the safety tools. It's not like I don't want that to be in there because it might be triggering for me. It's I don't want that to be in there because it doesn't feel interesting to me. Like,
Nice.
It's both, but it's not a safety tool mechanic. It is a game mechanic. So, for Stuart, have you heard of lines and veils, Stuart, in role-playing
I
games?
do not think so.
This is so exciting. It's like how he broke his toe in that one scene in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yay.
Wow, I get to tell you a thing. Lines and veils are a really common safety mechanic in role-play games. They're like a pretty... I don't know if it's like universally adopted, but very common now, of like a hard line that you don't want to cross. And then veils are like, these are topics that we should be careful with, that maybe we can talk about generally, but I don't want to be specifically like described. So those are some things like lines and veils. If anyone has any hard lines or veils that they want to mention now, we would not include them or be very careful with them. You can also write them in the gameplay document. And that doesn't mean that later these are the only lines and veils. If something comes up, that's what the X card is for. Say like, never mind.
I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting
I'll say
down.
lines, hard nose, and veils are like tricky topics, I would say.
Yeah.
Handle with care.
I don't really have any for this game. Like, I have my usuals. Like, I don't really ever want there to be, like, sexual violence in games that I play. It's not something I'm interested in doing. Like, there are some games that are built to explore that, and I wouldn't really play them, to be honest. But I don't see us really running into that much.
Yeah, I can't think of anything personally.
That's A-okay.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I guess, and we can include this or not, like, because somebody's like definitely dead, is there a chance it was murder? Or is it like...
There is a chance it was murder. It is an important part of the game that it is not a mystery. We get to
fair.
decide pretty early how they died, and we know how they died. We decide that together. There's not a mystery. Like,
Okay.
it's not a mystery solving game.
So as long as it's not like a sexually motivated murder.
I'd be
Everything else is
fine
on
with
the
a
table?
violent death, yeah. If
Okay.
that's what...
Yeah.
We're going to talk
Like-
about it as we go through.
Yeah, like Soldier in War 2,
Yeah.
that kind of thing is fun.
Car backed up, pinned him between...
Sure. That takes... you were going real specific real fast. Okay, so now that we know kind of the safety tools that we're going to be using, the first step to creating our departed and their life is to pick a setting. The book is not at all constrictive of what that setting might be. They include the basic categories of modern, fictional, and historical. They say if you're going to do something historical, don't get hung up on it. Like, don't worry about accuracy. If it's important to look stuff up, do it, but like, don't worry about it. Fictional can be any type of made up world, and then modern is like right around now. Does anyone have it? And this is also where they want to do like, if you have an idea, this is the moment where you'll want to share it. Like the options that they say, like, I want to tell a story about a luchador. I want to play a game set in the Revolutionary War. I want to explore the life of a witch and her talking cat. Like if anybody has anything firm that they want to offer.
I would be interested in putting Stu in that hot seat so that you can pick, especially given that you haven't listened to any of the episodes.
Oh.
Like, you know, I'm trying to metagame it where it's like, what have we not done before? But I'd be more interested in seeing Stu just what, you know, what excites you.
All right. Well,
What
ow,
excites
I'm in the hot
Stu?
seat. Okay. I would be interested in like historical or fantastical, you know.
Not modern.
Yeah.
You're crossing off more modern. Let's go somewhere unknown.
Yeah, like, I mean,
less.
I'm
yeah.
certainly open to modern if someone is feeling particularly modern, but I kind of like fantastical, I kind of like historical. When I think the idea of like, okay, we're going to be analyzing someone's life, the circumstances that led to their death, we're starting with the death, though that's not the most important thing, that draws sort of like historical, you know, kind of like a Tolstoy novel, or something like kind of like Lord of the Rings-y in a way, kind of like broad.
Ooh.
That is an interesting point of like how long is this life? If we want to go fantasy, we could go even like centuries long. Like it's like an elf or
That's a
something
good-
where they like saw a lot. I don't know.
Yoda.
One of them friggin' turtles.
Yeah, one of them freaking turtles.
The Galapagos? Is that what they're
ones.
called? Yeah.
I just finished a novel that ended with a shark. Like it was a completely unrelated shark, but it was this like just a very little aside of how like this shark had lived through like 2 nuclear apocalypses. So sharks do live a long time.
That is crazy to think about, yeah.
Something to throw
I
in
would
there.
love that. Sharks are one of my favorite animals.
So that is a big decision of do we want a classic humanoid or did we like an animal is an option. I don't think the game was straight up designed for animal. It's in part of the section at the end is like, do you want to play an animal? And then it's like, just talk about how human-like you want the animal to be. Like, how do they think? Are they going to have relationships like humans do? But it is an option.
Could be death by shark, like a human that was
A pirate.
killed by
Pirate. I would lean. Well, I'll let someone else go if anyone else was going to say something. I don't know if you were going to say something, Ganesh.
Stu.
We're bouncing around.
Stu.
Go, Stu.
I'd prefer...
Go ahead.
Oh.
Take the reins.
I was just going to say, I'd prefer humanoid over...
Yeah. Because I, like, again, with the idea of, like, okay, we're analyzing this person's life, you know, I kind of like thinking about the societal factors and the political factors. Again, not that we have to be, you know, 100% accurate with that, but, you know, I like thinking about, you know, what was going on in this person's life, which we could do if we did, like, Zootopia. But, like, you know.
Yeah.
That was one thing that they were like, how human, like, is this Peter Rabbit
Yeah.
drinking a little cup of tea situation?
Yeah.
But yeah, so like human level sentient society, 100%.
Yeah.
It is raining
be-
really hard right now.
Oof.
I actually do hear it. I was curious where it was raining.
That's me.
Could be somebody who died from the Titanic. Because a couple
So-
of them died from sharks.
So picking the death does happen later. I
All right,
think
all
that
right.
we can have an idea, but there is a moment where we will craft the death
Okay.
together.
Or is eager.
We're still
chomping at the
right
bit.
now just in the setting.
Yeah.
So are we leaning more historical or more fictional?
I will say being in a fantasy setting gives us a little creative credence to like
Yeah.
do whatever the fuck we want
Yeah.
Yep.
and make up what we want. But on the other hand, historical like little touchstones would be kind of fun.
How do we feel about like a grounded fantasy? Like it's not a super fantastical
cool.
world, but it is like a parallel universe or something. Like
Multiverse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Like on the sliding scale of like Game of Thrones to Dragon Tales, you know, I would be fine with leaning more towards Game of Thrones.
so
That's
what
the
what is
spectrum.
that sliding
That-
scale? Yeah.
Like-
because Dragon Tales
Yeah, it doesn't-
Dragon Tales is real actually.
Okay,
That
well,
takes
I
place in this world. They just have a portal to the dragon.
Well, let me say first off, I got a postcard from the Dragon Tales when I was a kid because I wrote to PBS and they sent me back a Dragon Tales and they said, we got this Dragon Tales postcard from the Dragon Tales world. So I'm quite familiar with all of our friends.
The Dragon Tales rhyme at the beginning and the end was how I got out of like looping nightmares when I had those crazy
I remember you
nightmares
talking about
as
that.
a baby.
Yeah.
When I was like 4 years
Wait,
old, I
the
would have to
alligator
be like,
nightmares?
the alligator nightmares, I would have to say the Dragon
Were
Tales.
you eaten by alligators?
I wish with all my heart to fly with dragons of the world apart. I had to say the one that they used to get out of the nightmares, and I could never remember it.
Wow.
You were
Wait,
lucid
you had
dreaming.
dreams about being eaten by alligators?
Yes.
God, those fucking suck.
I
okay,
had them
sorry.
every day
Yeah.
for probably like 2 years.
That was like me and the devil.
Me and the devil walking side
But wait,
by
Stu,
side.
in that allegory, are you saying that Game of Thrones is the grounded one and Dragon
Yeah,
Tales
like
is
I
the
mean, like
fantastic?
Game of Thrones is like certainly
Okay.
fantastical, but like Dragon Tales is like those dragons are talking.
You want it gritty.
Whoa.
We want it gritty. We want it society.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying
Yeah.
gritty, but
Social.
social. Yeah, social. I would say.
Social society.
Yeah.
What's happening? What's
We
the
would-
giggling?
Tori
We were
and I.
grittying, sorry.
I'll turn.
You were
I'll
you were
turn this
hitting the gritty
podcast around.
so fast. Okay, so then let's go to our palette because I think that will help inform our setting more.
Okay.
So this is the first thing that has actual mechanics that we have to follow. There are 3 sections of the palette. There's the departed. That's the person that we're dealing with. We can add hobbies or interests that they cared about, struggles they dealt with, important character traits. There's stuff about the setting, that's details about the world, topics that we want to come up, themes we want to explore. And then there's the not in this game section. Anything we do not want in this story, either because it is not interesting to us right now or because its absence is interesting. So a good example of like its absence being interesting would be like, I don't know, let's not have marriage. They never get married. That's going to be an interesting thing about them. That would be like something to put as like, I want this to not be present. So that's how it's different from like the lines and veils, the X card. It's not necessarily a safety mechanic. It's just like a point of interest.
So, like again, just an example, but hypothetically, if we were to say, like, okay, this world there is no marriage, is that something we could develop? Is that something we could be like, here's why?
So that's a great question. What I was thinking with the marriage was the departed never gets married. Not like the world doesn't have
Oh, I
marriage,
see.
but for their life it doesn't happen. But that's a good thing to like come up with as we're putting things is like how hard are they? Are they applying? I think that would be more in the setting.
Yeah,
Section.
yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then how we do this is we're going to go around in a circle and you add one thing to either departed, setting, or not in this game. So we each get to add one thing, and then you do another round until somebody passes. And then once somebody is like, I'm out, then everybody has one more chance, and then we're done. How do we want to decide?
So, wait, hold on.
Decide what?
Like the order.
Just do our intro
Alphabet.
We
order.
could just do our intro order.
Oh God, that means I'm first.
Wait, can I ask a
Yup.
clarifying?
Yes, clarifying question. Go ahead.
Did you say we're going around in a circle on just Departed, then setting?
Good question. No, we're doing them all at the same time. So I can pick one thing to add to either Departed, setting, or not in this game.
Okay.
And then someone else adds one thing. And these should be short.
Yeah.
The examples that they have are like the theme found family in the setting, or like adding a hobby. They added music. Another player asks what kind of music. They specify folk music and put that under the Departed. Like the Departed liked folk music. So these are like real quick tidbits to hold on to. Okay. So with that in mind, oh God, I'm gonna do a setting. I think with what we're looking at, human level sentience, social society, I want there to be an aspect of like travel or exploration. And everyone has a link to this so you can type your stuff directly in there. And if people have questions about things, we can like go off of it. But yeah, travel, exploration.
I think something The Departed was interested in was writing, and they were stuck on one novel that they were.
There is a goal that we will do later
Oh,
too. Like they have a goal, but
Oh, they have a goal.
writing, and specifically it seems fiction writing,
sure.
because you said a novel.
I don't know. I don't read, so I don't know the differences.
Novels are usually fiction. I think always fiction.
Whoever this person is, they write.
Show it. Show it.
Show it.
So fun that travel and exploration is part of our setting / theme, because what I was thinking the Departed had an interest in is quote unquote exotic animals, maybe snakes specifically, or primates. I don't know, but some kind of like specific species that this
Cool.
person was really into, and maybe travels to see.
That's fun.
Hobbies, interests the Departed carry about, struggles they dealt with. I guess I'll do struggles they dealt with. How about like a war?
That could definitely affect some of the other stuff going on. Limit travel.
So this might kind of double down on what Margot just put, but what I was thinking for the setting, post-revolution, like immediately
Ooh.
post-revolution.
Love.
Cool.
It's a fun tweak.
Okay. This is something that is interesting to me with the war and the immediately post-revolution to not be in this game, and I think that's active service. Like, I like the idea that this
Like
person
being a
is
soldier.
avoiding service or has, like, found ways out of it, and, like, the world is in a hard place, but they are not. You know, like...
Yeah. A lot of potential there.
I think something that has always interested me is like feudal society. So like kind of your classic kings, queens, and then farmers, etc., etc. So I'll put that in setting.
Do you think that
Are we doing both hobby, setting, and
you do
Departed?
all three of them all at the same time?
Oh,
So you
gotcha.
can pick where you want your stuff to
But
go.
you can only add one per thing.
You can only add
per
one
turn.
thing.
Okay.
Emma, did you have a
Can I
question?
go? Yeah, who? I was going to go, and then, yep.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, with the feudal society, does that feel like that was what it was before the revolution? Like, we'll see that, and then a revolution, and then maybe we're unmoored, or do we feel
That
like
is a
that
good
was...
question. I'm open to collaborate with Stuart on that idea, but
Yeah, that's a good question. What intrigues me specifically about post-revolution is like the struggle of establishing what comes next. So that could be, you know, is there a charismatic guy who's showed up and is like, hey,
And
I'm king
becomes,
now? Or, you know, did they just overthrow a bunch of kings and now it's like, okay, over here you've got communism, over here you've got democracy, over here you've got theocracy. I kind of like the idea of like splintered, um, you know, multi-different burgeoning governments all around. Maybe some stuck with a king, maybe some didn't. That's just off the dome.
Yeah. As long as we're including travel in the story, I think it's
Yeah.
a great opportunity to explore different types of places. Maybe the meet in the middle answer is a predominantly feudal kind of structure that whoever this departed is, they were a part of or embroiled in the conflict to overthrow
Yeah.
that.
I have a historical parallel, but I might wait for my turn.
Yes.
Okay, for me, something I'm not interested in being in this departed's exit from this earthly coil is infection. I would be interested in toxin or poison or some kind of like bodily injury, but infection, I think I'm not as interested in.
Do you mean like disease in general or specifically infection?
Well, we were talking about, I think war is what got me thinking about it and like how much,
Gangrene.
and then also thinking of like feudal society, if you're
Yeah.
talking about those lower, like don't have access to any kind of nutritional value, like tetanus or I don't know. So something that like, got contracted blank and then died is
Yeah.
like not as interesting to me. So
Cool. Cool.
Oh yeah, I had a quick question. So I don't know if there was a thing talking about like the feudal society or with Stuart, or if Stuart you wanted to develop more on it in your turn with what you were saying. Was this like post-revolution feudal society a niche? Like when you were saying feudal society, like always been feudal society, or like something where it was something and now it's back to kind of feudalism, or it's something like, you know, you have your
If you're asking
Attack
for,
on Titan type thing where like some things are feudal and some things aren't feudal.
I guess what I was going for was in like a pocket of influence, like the immediate surroundings, at least for like maybe the scope of the story is like very post-revolution.
What it's giving to me, just from what I'm seeing so far, is like maybe our departed was working for a king or like a lord going on these expeditions, and then like the revolution happened, and then our departed is like without a job, you know, like then our departed is no longer employed by the king.
I actually had an idea about like departed's interests, speaking about kings or whatever, and I was gonna say like anti-establishment.
Hell yeah. I mean, a vagrant poet feels pretty.
Like a punk?
Yeah.
Like very. I have a great idea.
don't tread on me, snake.
Whoa.
Oh.
That's what
Currently has some baggage. Currently
we-
has baggage, but at the time it was definitely anti-establishment.
Yeah, for real.
at the time
I
of
like-
the
I like-
feudal society, the don't tread on me snake.
Because I like the idea of like, you know, if he's this like author, like writer, maybe poet, who's like traveling around, you know, you kind of have your like Martin Luther type, fuck the current system. I think it's interesting.
I think that's interesting in tension with the lack of active service, like the lack of. Yeah.
I had an idea that's going to kind of build on what Margot was doing. And I guess this would go under trait, but something I like is maybe he's, or she,
Or they- we don't
is commissioned, like dependent on being paid
Yeah.
by people with money and influence to go on these expeditions. So I'm going to put like, I don't know, commissioned, patronized.
That's nice.
Ooh.
That's a
Funding,
lot.
grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, grant funded. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Wait. Sorry, I've been waiting this whole time for your historical example.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to put this down, but this is kind of what I was thinking, because I think just the way we're going, it's not really going in this direction. But in the Russian Rurik dynasty, so the first czars, they were Vikings who got lost and wound up in what is today Russia. They couldn't get everywhere in Russia. When they first landed, there were some parts that were like too difficult to send their whole army to. So like random pockets of Vikings made their way. Most of them stayed in what is now Moscow. Those Vikings who got separated from the rest of the group founded a country called Novgorod, which is basically one of the first liberal democracies. Like this was back in the year 900, and they just happened to invent, there was a council, there were elected representatives, and it's just, they just got lost in this really cold winter. They were desperate, had to rely on one another to survive, and that led to this sort of fractured, splintered liberal democracy that, of course, eventually got into war with the main Tsarist dynasty. But that's where my thought. That's what came to mind. I don't know if I'm going to put that down. That's just for y'all to chew on.
Fuck yeah!
And
This is why you're here, Stuart.
get ready to finish chewing because I'm passing. So you all have one more chance, and then we're moving on from the palate.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a derailed thought. Stuart, did you ever play the Mario Party map where you can get anti-stars and they're called Zatars?
Oh yeah,
Any thoughts on that one?
I like it.
Okay.
Already putting that down. Is he in
And
Mario
that's
Party?
all for this episode of Read Play Game. We'll see you at another
You're
side of the
talking about
table.
SARS, and that's what I thought of.
Okay.
And then my second derail question. Now I'm worried I misunderstand the don't. What's the don't? Wasn't it like the states telling the king like back off, or?
I was joking.
Because now I'm like, do I not? Would you have called it anti-establishment then?
Well, I was joking about the
Yes.
then because we're not doing a full historical. We're doing like fictional. So I was joking about like this is a totally different.
Okay.
But I need the historical context.
I'm just throwing it back to 5th grade or whenever last time I
I
saw
think
that
you're
freaking
right. I
snake
don't
or
know
whatever.
for sure. I was
Okay.
doing a joke of like, I'm at like seeing the "Don't Tread on Me" flag in Lord of the Rings and being like, it was actually woke back then. You know, like, it was like, what do they know?
And you
Okay,
are,
sorry, Anish. Thank you.
you are right. It was a symbol of unity of the 13 colonies,
Yeah.
but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, it was like there was a famous image of the "Don't Tread on Me" snake being cut into
He's, like,
13
chopped
different
up.
pieces. Yeah,
Got
it was
him.
like 13 different colonies.
All right.
They did tread.
Just stumped on
Okay,
them.
so that's a pass from me. Then it goes to.
I think I
Anisha.
know what dog did it too.
I think I know a dog did it too. Yeah, Tori, you know how to derail me. I fucking love that video.
Caramba.
Just because it came up recently, I don't think traditional gender roles are all that interesting. Like, just like, if I was thinking about war and like traditional who's conscripted, the men, and like that kind of leans into a story where like it kind of limits what can be told. So I'm like, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, if there's a role, anybody can do the role.
Cool.
I don't know.
This is a fantastical, like, we're not beholden to the historical precedents for what people expected of different genders.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and maybe we're traveling all around the world, and like there's different versions of that because the world is always going to be diverse. That's just how culture works. But I'm not really invested in very specific ones.
after all that chatting, I actually think I'll pass too, if I
Cool.
can.
Yeah,
I'm excited
you
to
can.
get to the next step.
I have one final thing. Speaking of historical references, during the Holy Roman Empire, one of the things I find interesting is, specifically before Gutenberg, the invention of the printing press, was how, like, the ability to write was very selective, and you have to study to be a scribe for years and years and years. And like we talk about like commissioned, patronized, like as a writer, and like people work to like become like a master scribe throughout their entire life. And so I think that could be interesting. The idea of a world with like limited, like people who know how to, like, limited literacy in this world, and like it's kind of like a like spoken thing, and like writing, like that kind of stuff. And like maybe it's bringing literacy to the masses type thing.
Cool.
I've got one final thing just to add some more spice to our character. Youngest.
Gay. Sorry.
Gay. Don't get me started. Youngest of 5 siblings.
Incredible.
Very fun.
I love a little
Fun.
a tidbit, something to hold on to. Okay. So that's our palette. We have an idea of our setting. We have an idea of our departed's interests and skills, and then we have our not in this game. So now we have to make a goal for our departed. We've established a setting and formed a palette. Now we're ready to start learning more concrete details about our story's main character, the departed. First step is giving them a goal. The departed might have had many goals throughout their life, but one was more important to them than the rest. This goal will provide us with the backbone of a narrative as we begin learning about this departed's choices and experiences. At the end of this step, we decide together whether they accomplished their goal or not over the course of their life. So first we pick a desire. Of these 6 desires, there's achievement, fame, justice, knowledge, love, and wealth. If anyone wants example goals for the different desires, let me know. They give some. Or if we want to talk about, like, well, what's the difference between, like, achievement and fame? What's the difference between achievement and knowledge? Like, where are those lines?
I am very curious about achievement and fame.
Yeah.
That difference.
Some of the examples that he gives for achievement are find a cure for tuberculosis, restore peace to the Galactic Covenant. And then what was the other one that you were interested in? Achievement versus fame. Fame, the examples are become famous for my ability to speak to the dead, star in a blockbuster film, earn the Victoria Cross to get my name in the papers back home. So achievement is like there's a specific, I think there's like a task that even if they weren't known for being the one who did it, getting the task done would be enough. But the fame is like, I need to be known for doing this. Whereas the knowledge one, which are some of the ones that get caught up in my brain as being similar, I love one of the examples that he gives for knowledge, which is learn to play the cello as well as my dad used to. And then, discover the key to reading ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Find the lost spell to control dragons. So it's not even necessarily getting a specific thing done or getting recognized for it. It's like you knowing that you've figured something out.
I'll say I'm immediately drawn to 2 paths, either knowledge or fame. Because
the fact we chose war, fame is a gun.
You're so funny.
And I pointed blindly.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, sympathy. That can also be pretty useful in war.
Stuart's on this podcast for 2 reasons. 1, his historical knowledge. 2, his vast, pop music knowledge.
Yay!
Those combined things allow Stuart to pander to every member of this podcast.
Yay!
So I guess my question is, they don't have to necessarily be exclusive, right?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. I think he said the departed might have had many goals throughout their life, but one was more important to them than the rest. So this is the goal, but yeah.
Right. But what I'm more saying is like, for example, if your desire is fame, if you become famous, you could also become wealthy.
Oh, yeah.
But like that might not be what you're desiring.
Yeah. I think it's more about what's the motivation for the departed.
Right.
Can I ask, what do we think about justice? Because when
I really like justice.
I mean, same here, dog. But like for our character, we talked about kind of this sort of like animal specialist, expert in a society of limited experts, immediately post the time of great upheaval, could be some sort of like protect the animals, in a way that's much more classy than that.
Sure.
Could also kind of...
I think that would...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, wait, go ahead. That I think would fall into kind of the example goals that are given for justice. Some of them are clear my sister's name by proving she didn't steal that car, overthrow the king and his corrupt court, win back my family's ancestral estate, which I lost in an inheritance dispute. So it is just like righting a wrong.
We could also go like for an inverse Moby Dick kind of thing.
I'm listening.
Yeah, what
Running
exactly
away from a big whale.
I need... Oh, the whale is hunting him down.
Just pissed off the wrong whale. He messed with him too many times. Oh, that's good. I'm tempted. Love. The goal is love, and he's trying to convince the whale, "Don't hate me, man." But the whale is just like pissed.
He's trying to dig Moby.
Yeah, he's trying to dig Moby.
The reverse.
He's trying to dig Moby.
He's trying to dig Moby.
Oh yeah, like
Our departed is a monster fucker.
I used to watch that.
And
I used to watch
honestly,
that show.
And honestly, it's a I was thinking initially when you said like it's inverse Moby Dick, like this is a fantastical world. Like the whale could
fly.
So,
like, it doesn't have to be restricted to the ocean.
So let's...
A little Troika
love
throwback.
this. Anish does
riffing.
have a heart out. So let's get back to it. You were talking about justice.
Yes. Let me clarify. I was saying inverse, Moby Dick. Rather than him trying to like find some sort of rare animal to protect, instead it's like trying to find some sort of rare animal and like gets obsessed with trying to find it and doesn't matter the cost of trying to get there. Maybe not necessarily kill, like the bad guy from Up,
Yeah, I was thinking about
Nice.
Yeah.
Is the spin on it that he wants to be the first person who sees it, or he wants to know
that it exists.
that it exists?
Does
Like,
he want
wants-
proof and to
Yeah.
bring
Or
it
a
back
kill
to the
under the
world?
belt.
Like, would he be happy with just like a footprint?
And hey, that's different from the goal, because maybe you would be happy with it, but like, is it your goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Like the mummy.
Who we say, if we're talking like historically, revolution just happened. Maybe before this, it was all like pen and paper type stuff, but now like some kind of like camera has been invented, and like to be the first person to actually get one on camera, potentially something like that.
Yeah. I like that.
That could be fun with the limited literacy too. I was struggling for a moment with like the idea of technological advances with limited, like how would a camera be invented while there's limited literacy? And then I was like, we're in a fantastical world. Maybe the camera is invented because there's limited literacy and we need to share visual things. So like people get better and better at like that. So that
maybe
is interesting to me.
part of this war and like feudal system.
It's fine. We've been flooding for weeks.
The whale has arrived.
Grab the condoms.
Because maybe some of this, I almost said something foul.
Dicking Moby.
Cut it out.
Maybe
That was funny.
because maybe some of this war / feudal, either structure being built or torn down is like, I'm thinking about when the Chud communist like wall came down, and it was like before the Berlin Wall. Before that,
Communist wall came down.
That is so funny.
We
I was
got-
just trying to find the word. So when that came, didn't they have like very?
You found them. You found them.
Well, we
Didn't
found
they
them.
have like limited?
The Berlin.
Yes.
Dad limited
you
what
go,
would they
sorry.
have?
didn't they have limited like choice at the supermarket or something? And then like after the wall came down, like there's all this different stuff. So maybe in terms of like technology or sharing ideas, like maybe our person, like she had been like sequestered from, or like maybe education technology was like only allowed to certain people in the feudal system, and maybe now there's like greater options, and pursuing this creature has become more feasible.
Yeah.
This is all quite interesting. I feel like
Are we getting
we're
ahead
getting
of ourselves?
rid
So
of.
Are we going with the creature? Like, what's
Well, it's
the-
more. I think that we know. It seems that we know we don't care about love and wealth for our person. I'm hearing
Get
mostly
outta here.
achievement, fame, justice, and knowledge.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I love it.
Unclear to me where exactly we're landing right now. Seems like this person's looking for something. Do we think that they just wanted to achieve that, or like, what's the purpose?
I think in the spirit of like anti-establishment, like maybe there's a version of this that's like truly this is just an environmentalist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are just
Yeah.
gathering knowledge. They're like making a bestiary or something like that and gathering tons of knowledge about that. And the other version is the, captain of the ship that is finding the elusive creature. That's
Does this feel like I feel like it is a justice thing in many
environmentalist justice.
So I feel like now we're down to fame and justice of like how pure do we think we want our departed's intentions to be?
I kind of like the idea of them being a bit of a good guy. The notion of like, okay,
Yeah.
Why not?
just this time of great upheaval, power hungry cowards fighting. They don't care about land. They don't care about animals, the downtrodden.
Yeah. So now we do need a sentence for the goal. So the goal is based on justice. Yes, go ahead.
all I was gonna say to like add on to this, like the good, like being a good person, like being a good person or like having good intentions, I don't think also means that you can't like be like have those intentions be swayed or whatever throughout the life. So I think I like that idea of like justice, like environmentalist, like you said, Anish.
Cool. So how do we want to phrase that goal? Like is the goal to like let people know what the world could be, like share hope to a changing world or something?
Is this the Jane Goodall of mythical creatures?
I like this.
Literally,
I like
read
that a
her
lot.
Book of Hope. It was something. Else.
She's a badass. I like that a
I'm
lot.
actually in love with that idea.
I love this idea.
I'll write it down and then we can talk about it. What did I say?
Abe shall not kill Abe.
Show the changing. What was it? What did I say?
Yeah, is that a Love Island reference?
No, it's a Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, Planet of the Apes. There is someone on Love Island who had the tattoo. You know about this? He had the
No.
Yeah. Ape shall not kill ape.
apes together.
Caesar is
strong.
home.
Ape together
strong.
strong.
Okay, so yeah, what do we want to like prove that there is? What do we want it to be? Because it has to be a big goal.
I think it's something along the lines of the people are not better than the creatures. Something like that. Like we are.
But my thing is, what would be an achievement of that? Like, would it be sharing the information? Would it be getting everyone on their side? Like, what would that look like?
Is it like establishing a conservation area? Is it?
Maybe it could be because Anish mentioned the idea of like making a sort of like record of creatures, like a record of endangered creatures. Maybe the goal could just be securing the funding for that. Getting the green light, getting the money needed.
I feel like in
Okay.
our answers
like
we talk
the
about
idea of,
grants, right?
Yeah, so they're getting some funding throughout. What's to stick with the theme, what's like the white whale? How about we combine those and say, like, convince the powers that be, so then we can figure out what we want the powers that be to be exactly. But convince the powers that be to fund a protected area.
Yeah.
There's this, like, going around, or to fund a initiative.
Is what's popping into my
the
brain?
wilds wild or something. I don't know. Yeah.
like how the Hunger Games, the mockingbird was like thought to be extinct, but was still a symbol of hope? Question mark. Like if our protagonist can find this species or plant or whatever it is, that is maybe like a symbol of hope that got their community through the war. It can be like a newfound.
Is it
symbol of,
dragons? Is it dragons?
I
Are
would-
they
I was
trying
gonna say it
to?
could be.
nature's healing, something like that.
These knights keep killing these dragons, but they're just minding their own business.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
is
and it
that
doesn't have to be-
or have they been dead for a long time, and you're finding one? Because I like
They're-
the idea of like a long extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
Phoenix
It
two
doesn't
on the
have to be
nose?
like a dragon.
What'd you say?
Is a phoenix too on the nose? The idea of like rising from the ashes after like destruction and new life comes.
I mean,
from.
it could be. It doesn't have to be like a. Like it could be something like like it doesn't have to be a phoenix, but one
like
one
Phoenix
example.
whale.
Phoenix whale. The Phoenix whale.
One like it could be the flying whale. Like it could.
The
You know,
flying
honestly,
whale,
okay.
and
So
it comes to the surface,
the-
and you're like, "I finally found you," and then the whale goes, "It's
Too
too painful."
like one example I really love from fiction is there's a movie I love. It's called Maquia, where the promised flower blooms, and like there's this whole theme throughout the movie that the big empire is using these dragons, and the dragons, like, because they're in captivity, they keep dying, but because they can only live like out in the public, and maybe it's something like dragon adjacent things are dying out, like this symbol is dying out, and it's because they're being used for power, used for like some kind of thing in society, like exploited, like these animals are being exploited.
Oh yeah, fuck it.
And it's like they like if like proving that we don't need, like they can only survive, like because like maybe it's something like the power system or something is going out because
Yeah.
people are using the animals for energy. I don't know.
I think we've got a lot of ideas about how they could solve this problem. What if we made the goal, and then this person could have tried a bunch of things. The goal is to protect this specific species from extinction, to like bring it back to a healthy
Yep.
population.
Love it.
Yep.
Love.
Bring
And there's
the-
sky whales.
Sky whales.
I love sky whales.
Wasn't that Troika? Weren't they? Or was that just in the manual
Oh.
or something?
We were in a whale. We were in
Okay.
one whale. Yeah. Bring the sky whales
Give
back
'em a little
from the brink
multiverse.
of extinction.
Love
Yeah, it's like
We want the sky whales. That is so funny. It is the multiverse. One of these sky whales is the troika whale. Yeah, you're 100% right.
it's like the water horse.
Somebody get him.
Anybody remember the water horse Legend of the Deep?
Nope.
Lord,
No.
kind of. It's like ringing a very distant bell.
Yeah.
It was ugly, wasn't it?
Super ugly. But I love sky
Okay,
whales.
yes.
I love the tulkuns. We can make it the tulkuns, and it can be on Pandora, and it can be right after the Navi beat the humans, and it can. Okay, I'm stopping myself.
Listen, I haven't seen that movie, so you can put as much of it into this as you want, and I won't notice.
Can we call them
Wasn't the
Anyway.
resource named something stupid?
Unobtainium?
It's like unobtainium.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
oh,
the
by-
highest
Hard to
grossing
obtain.
movie? What the hell?
Yeah.
By the way, our departed is an 8-foot blue humanoid with a tail.
Okay. So
Fuck
now,
yeah.
and this is very important. This is very, very important.
Okay, sorry.
Together, we decide if the departed completed their goal before they died. The answer should be yes or no. You do not leave it ambiguous. If the goal was completed, we decide when they completed it and add it to the timeline in step 6. A partly completed goal counts as a no.
It could be a Pyrrhic victory.
What's a Pyrrhic
What that
victory?
means.
Yeah.
I mean, Pyrrhic victory is like a victory that like comes with a great cost. It's like, oh, you won the war, but like all of your soldiers died.
I think no matter what, there will be certainly like the examples that are given, which I don't want to give too many examples because I feel like it'll color our experience. All of the possible answers to this question are so interesting. Part of the like when did they achieve their goal is so interesting because like what if it happened early in
be
their
on their
life?
deathbed.
Like what it, like you know like and then they just have the rest of their life after they completed their goal. Like it's all interesting. And not completing the goal is also interesting.
I'll say it. Yes, they completed it. Shout out to Wales.
We love you,
Call me an
Wales.
optimist.
I say yes too.
Why not?
Yeah, I say yes. Let's do it. Let's feel joy.
Hey, you know what we did? We saved the sky whales today.
Fuck yeah.
The 5 of us.
We
just
did it. I love whales.
Okay.
I need that.
So
need
now
that.
that we've decided that, we get to decide how the departed died.
Oh.
Crushed by a sky whale. No.
Dude. Yeah.
Oh my god! And now we're referencing goblins. This is crazy.
Oh, am I? Oh, you're so
Yes.
right. Okay, so you can see I listed the questions. This is straight up the page of the book that I got it from. You discuss it in any order. When and where was the departed born? When did they die? How old were they when they died? What happened that caused their death? Where were they? Was anyone with them? And if so, who? So we're like discussing the bare bones of their life, nothing in between. We want to know essentially how old they were when they died. That's why you have the when and where was the departed born. This is just a me thing for math. I can't process years very well in fictional settings. When someone's like, it's 14,300 and whatever, I'm like, great, I don't care. So for me, when we talk about when and where the departed was born,
They were born in 0.
that's what's in my brain. It can be anything that y'all want to be.
They're
In my
Jesus.
brain, they're born in year 0. It's their life, and then they're gonna die at this age.
for me.
They could just have like the forgotten years and like they died in the
What I'm saying, there can be years I will not be keeping track of it because we make a timeline,
Cool.
and part of it is
Love
you
it.
put the years in it. But I'm gonna be thinking about it and how old were they, not like what
Love
year
it.
is it.
cool. Do we have to do
Because
this
it's like-
in order, by the
No,
way?
discuss in any order.
I'm curious, immediate gut checks on died old or young.
I like old.
I like so my like immediate like thought was like they died in an action of saving the whales, and I'm like, I feel like old but not like too old that they can't physically do things, you know
So,
what
like,
I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's part of it too. Is we do want to know. Oh no, that's the next step. I think we want to know when they completed their goal.
Jane Goodall was pretty spry.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's still alive?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Isn't she?
my friends did an interview of her.
Yeah.
Jane Goodall. If you're
Anish
listening,
thought Jane Goodall
love
was
you.
dead.
I thought she
She is.
I thought she was.
she's
She is.
She just put out a book.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Jane
And I
Goodall.
read it.
Yeah. She's 91.
Fuck
rock.
yeah.
Yeah.
No L's for Jane Goodall. She's 91.
Yeah. I could see like
she's a fucking kid.
just a fucking kid.
We all got that one friend who's 91.
Literally.
So they died. Are we thinking like 50s?
I was thinking maybe a little like early 60s.
Early 60s?
60s, I think 60s is good.
Cool.
You could still,
Oh, wait,
I mean,
that's
fucking
how old
Ray
were they when
Dooley.
they died?
Ray Dooley
Early
dead?
Ray Dooley's 70s, almost 80s. Don't even say
even-
that. I'm like mad you even said those words
I
together.
just Marco.
No, but I mean-
it seemed to
Take it
imply.
back, like,
I'm not wishing.
open the window or
I was
something.
confused. Throw salt.
They were in their early 60s when they died. Do we want to, like, we were talking a little bit about what happened that caused the departed's death. I heard some talk about that, or did I make that up?
I have an idea about when they accomplished their goal that relates
Cool.
to that, but I don't know if that's later.
Say it.
My
Shall
idea
we?
is that they accomplish their goal relatively in the midpoint of their life, but then from then on, they're dealing with some unintended side effect. Like maybe bringing the sky whales back fucks up some new part of the environment that's developed since they were endangered. Or now suddenly, they're an apex predator to
The sky whales keep eating livestock.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
farmers are so mad.
like maybe now they're dependent on, cow otters for food and the sky whales love chomping them up,
So that's great. That's very interesting to me. Do you think that some kind of accident caused the death then, like dealing with ramifications?
I kind of like the idea of like his goal was to save the sky whales, or her, and he's not too particularly active in terms of what comes next, and maybe he just dies a sort of uneventful death in his sleep, and he's just kind of left this mess for the next generation.
Mm.
Margot, you wanted a more active death.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think it needs to be like since you mentioned that does give me an idea that I kind of like. I wasn't originally thinking of the idea of it being accomplished like halfway through their life, but when you say that, it does lead to a lot of interesting, specifically, there's a book I've been reading that has really great, in the very beginning, it's the person writing about their life, and they're talking about like how they attempted to bring this alien race into the into contact with humanity, and then everything went fucking horrible, and now they're in exile. And I'm thinking of dying peacefully. What if it's something like they accomplished it halfway through their life, and then maybe somehow they were in exile or or disgraced in some way, and
they died away from their home country.
That.
It doesn't need to be away from it could be.
I love being exiled.
I think exiled is interesting.
You love the whales so much, why don't you go live with them?
Here's one idea, and this might be focusing too much on the whales and less the gameplay, but what if the unintended side effect is oh wow, these whales are basically biological war machines. Instead of people riding around on horses, one person per horse, you can now have 30 people on a sky whale just chucking spears.
I'm getting that this person did have death by whale.
That might,
a whale was involved.
Yeah.
Sky whale
could be
Sky
Grizzly
whale
Man
attack.
Situation. They went out to
Steve
live
Irwin.
with the whales.
Oh, it could be like Blackfish.
So they were early 60s when they died. Some kind of death by sky whale attack. We'll get that more specific. They were in exile. Was anyone with them? And if so, who? It also sounds like they died during another period of war. There was another something going on.
Yeah.
Does that feel good?
Yeah. Maybe, liberation struggles, basically, you know.
It could be they had been a symbol of peace and new life, and in kind of nurturing the species back to life, and then with their untimely death, that maybe was seen as a pocket of maybe the masses are so distraught over this that we can pounce now and re-engage in the new.
That is combat. Something, but the story does end with the death.
Okay.
So
we'll never know.
We'll talk about it afterward. The last thing we do is the last thoughts of the important people in this person's life. So there could be some concern there, but that wouldn't be part of our timeline. We still need to answer when and where was the departed born, and was anyone with them, and if so, who?
Was anyone with them? I have a suggestion, which is our departed had an incredibly close relationship with a very specific skywell.
My thoughts exactly, Anish.
Yeah, and I think
sky whale.
I love this idea.
What's its name?
Pyagon.
No.
Flyagon. Flyagon.
Okay, that's in there. Okay, we need to know
What is that?
when and where was the
Avatar.
departed born. We know that they were born under a feudal system. Do we think that they were high class in the feudal system because they could write and stuff?
That makes sense.
I think maybe not nobility, but a step down.
Cool. Higher.
A scribe.
Still got drafted?
Well, they dodged the draft, or they didn't get drafted.
Oh, you mean active as in they were never active?
They were never active. That's in the
Gotcha. I thought they survived and then avoided, but no. Got it. Understood.
Okay. Do we want to specify a little bit more as to what the death was? Some examples of deaths. A peaceful natural death in the night.
I kind of want Flyacon to feed our departed to its children.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Because it's
Flyacon
kind of like you
betrays
can
it.
have. Well, it's kind of like you can have a special relationship with this animal, but at the end of the day, it's an animal,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. Like if it has babies, it needs to get fed,
I'm
and you are a source of food.
I'm interested in the version of it that's like these animals are special because they're so human.
Because they're
If
so
that makes
smart.
sense. Because they're mammals. They're like if a
Crazy
horse ate
idea.
me, that'd be fucking crazy.
Crazy idea. Crazy idea.
Oh wait,
Crazy
Crazy
idea. What if it died in an attack by Flyacon, who was being controlled by a different source?
stop that! Stop! Oh my
Mecha
god!
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Like
No.
was like taken and like I don't know
Like the
why, but like
Guardians of Ga'Hoole.
brainwashed and killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Goated reference.
Brainwashed
God,
and
what
was
a good
killed by
series.
Flyacon.
Kind of
My
circling. I hate to say
baby.
circle
My
back.
Sky whale.
Margo, did you have something?
You go first, 'cause I had another idea with what Tori was saying about it.
With Tori, like the idea of like throwing them to the kids, and like, well, really more so the idea of like at the end of the day, it is an animal. I mean, we could really go for like a blackfish kind of thing, like a Tillicum kind of thing.
I haven't seen that.
So Tillicum,
I've seen it so many times. I have it as a physical copy. I love that movie.
it's a document. Well, you can give the spark notes of what it's about.
pretty much a SeaWorld documentary, but me personally, I think it just sticks to facts. I learn a lot, and it doesn't like lean into like the pull on your heartstrings type angle. I think just the facts themselves are so devastating.
But what happens?
Oh my gosh. So they have this whale, Tillicum. He's like one of the largest males. He had killed someone in this smaller water park. And so he was never supposed to interact with humans again. But because he was such a huge male, they needed him for breeding. SeaWorld said, we'll take him. And he was used in the shows. And there was like a private dinner with Shamu is like, whatever
Yeah.
what they call it. People are sitting and eating dinner. Dawn Bradshaw is a skilled animal trainer, is like going through the motions with Tillicum, like, okay, wave your fin, da da da. For whatever reason, he snaps and he scalps her and kills her. And it was like completely like, I mean, these are captive animals. And so it's like they are, just like not acting in ways they would in the wild. Because like in the wild, no orca's ever killed a person, and I think he killed somebody else who like it was like this weird like all the security cams were off. Somebody wandered into the park, wandered into his cage, and then they
A
found this
person
guy
did
like
that for
naked
sure.
into his
That's
thumb. You know what I
100% a
mean?
person.
Floating in his whatever.
So with that
cut this
knowledge,
as much as we need. Yeah.
what's the pitch?
Okay, here's my idea that kind of like synthesizes everything. So Flyacon and our guy, they're a boy and his whale, very close relationship. Sometime after bringing the sky whales back, people realize we can use them as biological war machines. Flyacon gets kidnapped, used as a war machine. Our guy saves Flyacon, and it basically trying to treat his PTSD gets killed.
That's great.
Love it.
Okay.
That's
Yes,
That's
that's
actually-
it. That's it.
Death by
That's a lot better than, because I originally was thinking, oh, they were like being used as war machines and that's why they were going extinct. But I think that's more interesting.
Yeah, that's
They
dope.
get brought back, and then people see them as a weapon.
Okay. We're getting a
Wow,
little into
yeah.
the nitty gritty, but I think we needed to do that to get the death. So we know what the death was. We know that our departed was in his early 60s or in their early 60s when that happened. It is time to, actually, is it time to name them? Yes. What was the departed's name and what were their pronouns?
It can't be Ahab.
Shane,
Can't be Ahab. That's two on the nose.
What did you say, Anish?
Shane,
Shane.
Why?
No.
Footall.
That, oh.
What about I'm trying to think about like, okay, I'm just gonna search. Can I search names?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay. I won't.
Bad.
AI
no.
generated whale saving name.
Like something.
Okay. Do we want this? What about Monterey?
What
Monty.
about like Marion?
Can I just
Marion.
Marion's
Carrion.
fun.
can I just throw something out there?
Yeah.
Yep.
In ye old Scotland, there were certain names that gave the image of being a protector. because there were people who were hired as being wards, as being protectors of homes, and in like old, in old Scots, a kind of like prefix that meant home was stew. So stewards were protectors of home.
Stew whale.
Stew whale. But that's just me. I like.
I mean, something shield or
Yeah.
Sheila, Sheldon.
There's like
a shield is something that protects.
There's a synonym
Stew
for
whale
Shelley.
fish shield.
Shelley.
protection. Guard. There's like a specific.
Vanguard,
I've already written down
Belguard.
stew whale fish shield.
I mean, I do kind of like that.
No.
It's
No.
There's like a
No.
certain kind of word for
hard
shield
no.
that I'm
X-card.
thinking of, like
armor.
armor.
Okay, we have been playing for an hour and 45 minutes. We gotta just pick a name.
Okay.
Because we're not halfway through.
We should have
My
started
favorite
with this.
part.
No, the name is last. I'm putting stew in there.
No.
Okay.
I'm committing to
No.
stew. It can be in the last
No.
name, but I'm committing to stew somewhere.
Okay, hold on. Let me think about this.
I prefer Ward. I like Ward.
Yeah, I would like
better.
Ward in there more.
Ward is good.
Like
Ward.
Ward could be the last name.
Howard.
Warden.
Howard as a last name.
I'm gonna be
Warden.
thinking about the duck.
No, just Ward.
That is true. That is old timey.
Okay, let's do Ward as the last name. Marion Ward.
Yeah.
Pronouns.
J her.
She, her.
She, her.
Let's do
He,
it.
her.
I'm a gal. I'm a lady.
I'm a.
And then date born, date died. I'm writing
0.
0 to 63.
Yeah.
Nice.
But if we
Works for
want a date, someone put it. Okay. The next step, and this is the last step of this first episode, is I know, so exciting, right? Is identifying key people. We each identify one key person. Here's the little blurb for it. Many people had an influence on the departed during their life. Some played a vital role in shaping the person the departed would become. Even if neither the departed nor these key people knew how important those relationships were at the time, or later, or ever, we as players recognize their impact. So in any order, we each identify one key person. The person should have a name, pronouns, and a relationship to the departed. I am going to give examples of this. It's when picking relationships, use adjectives and details to help make the connections clear and focused. However, it should be a very short phrase. So some examples are Paul Oriel, he, him, devoted second husband. James Oria, he, him, mate in the trenches. You know, like it's like short phrases that really distill the relationship. And then I also want to touch on what makes a key person. The departed probably met dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of people during their lifetime. How do you know who is important and who isn't? Given the choice of everyone they ever knew, how can you narrow down your options? Fortunately, you don't need to, because by putting someone on this list, you're establishing that they were important to the departed or changed the course of the departed's life. Anyone you choose to add is, by default, influential and essential to the story. The reasons why may not be obvious when you start play, but they will likely become clear by the time you reach the end of the game. Relationships change. The instructions for this step will tell you to list a relationship, but you might well ask, relationship when? Our connections change throughout our lives. A close friend in high school might become a distant acquaintance. A coworker might become a lover, then an ex-lover. A child might eventually become a caregiver. Whatever relationship you decide to list during the step is important because you chose to list it. Everyone should support your idea and try to play to what you wrote. But the story can take unexpected turns, and the connection may end up different than you initially thought. Allow the departed's bonds to evolve naturally as you play. If they change, that's okay, and if they don't, that's okay too. And don't worry if you don't end up bringing a given key person into the story. You know they existed and they affected the departed, and the fact that you created them in the first place will change the story you tell. It's a menu, not a recipe. You can bring in anyone or no one from it as you tell the departed's tale. So we each pick one person.
Okay.
And it's in no order, so if anyone has a strong thought, yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, this is my idea, and I'm going to do a little bit of thinking out loud before we make like the specific blurb. Slade, he, him, captain of the King's Guard, assigned to be the bodyguard of Marianne on the expedition. He's the one who gets the idea that the sky whales can be war machines.
No.
Ooh.
I love like a protector, like this very important, trusted.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah. And, who
trusted betrayer or something.
Yeah. And, like, especially if, like, he's at first like, why do I have to go on this stupid mission? And then he's like, wow, these things are so beautiful. And they would be so beautiful if we could throw flaming spears off of them at the unwanted.
Yeah.
So, like, Marianne's bodyguard corrupts the sky whales. Who corrupts the sky whales?
Like this guy.
Marianne's bodyguard, corruptor of the side whales.
Yeah.
It's like the guy from Atlanta.
And then that's yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Tori, you got one? That's great.
I do, perhaps related to Slade. I wanted to name either the monarch or the current leader, whoever Marianne has to answer to. I have named Archibald Sturgis. And I'm going to say that Archibald is kind of like stingy and apathetic towards this whale cause. So Marianne really has to come with like the bells and whistles anytime she wants to ask for a grant. Any thoughts on this?
And what was the job?
I like
the
You, like, said
monarch
it, and I
or
lost
leader, whatever our current political formation is for Marianne, he's head of the
Authority figure, stingy
hierarchy.
authority figure.
Uninterested, like
Stingy and apathetic
yes,
authority figure. Cool.
yes, perfect.
Was that a he, him? I'm a he. I'm a him.
I'm a him. Actually, I wonder if it's like someone who's like so, you know how like the kings used to be like so like close to God that I don't know. I could see it being some kind of like
they.
you like always have to refer to Archibald Sturgis using Archibald Sturgis's full name. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see if it comes up.
Do you have one, Marco?
Yeah.
Go
Still not fully convinced on the name, but I like Eleanor. Like Eleanor. I don't know the last name. I was going to say like Eleanor, like Aquitaine, but I think that's an actual person. But
badass name.
Her mentor, like the person who taught her how to write, like who got her certified as like a master scribe, whatever, and also through teaching developed her love of animals. Maybe you like read her books about sky whales,
Cool.
like that kind of thing.
I'm gonna put Henry Ward. He, him, beloved older brother. Cool. And then it's you, Anish.
I'll say Cleo.
Cleo.
Cleo's great.
Fun.
I love Cleo.
Why do I look like berries
okay.
and cream right now? But that's neither here nor there.
Your hair
You
looks
look
bouncy
like,
right now.
you look like what's his face from
Lord
Shrek,
Farquaad?
Lord Farquaad.
The
Actually,
Muffin
no,
Man?
hold on.
Okay, Cleo Zephyr.
Cleo Zephyr
Ooh.
is the
Sick
person
reference to Dimension 20.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The current season, they're on a ship called the Zephyr.
Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, that's cool.
It is cool.
Which is very apt because Cleo is a traveling airship pilot. I'm thinking either hot balloons or airship,
Cool.
whatever is technology at this time. Cleo, she, her, is a wandering trader. Is a often will run into our departed in the travels, and there is a.
So again, very short phrase. You just want their relationship to the person. So like a sometimes, like, does that hit what you're trying? Like a reoccurring, maybe.
Reoccurring, yeah. Airplane pilot.
And Tori, also short phrase.
This is in the pronoun section. You must use Archibald Sturgis's full name when referring to Archibald Sturgis on pain of death.
Okay, I'll redo it.
Watch this
I'll redo
character
it.
never show up.
No,
All right.
I like what you're saying. I'm saying for the description, we want to like.
I know.
It's in the parentheses. It's for the pronoun
I'm not
section.
talking to you, Tori.
All right. Nobody said my name? Did I make that up?
I did earlier, but I
Okay,
was on
all
a
right.
different thing.
My delusions of
Which
persecution. are-
motherfucker keeps respelling traitor to traitor?
It's
Trader
trade.
Joe's?
Traitor.
I'm
as in
fuming
Trader
over
Clothes.
of
this.
wares.
Okay.
I don't know how interested we are in love dallying, but you know.
Okay, so how about a reoccurring flame?
Yes. Thank you.
There we go.
That's fun. Lesbian.
Or bi.
Okay,
Oh,
and that's
fuck.
it for this episode. In our next episode, we're going to build the timeline of Marianne Ward's life. So right now, all that we have is the day that she was born and the day that she died. And I guess we have a general idea. When we build the timeline, we'll start with what exact date did she complete her goal. And yeah, we'll see you at the next side. Well, it's kind of the same side of the table. Say bye, everybody.
Bye.
So long.
So long. Farewell.
Ciao.
Save the sky
Save
whales.
the sky whales.
Wait. Ciao is hello. Bye.